I want you to understand something about mind manipulation, as it is actually very important for you to understand if you are walking into spirituality. Mind manipulation happens because a person has lost control at some point in their life. And instead of controlling themselves, mastering themselves, being able to hold themselves back, they establish control in their entire environment. The bigger the person becomes, the more control that they need on the outside. And this is when a tyrant is born, is when they go to silence everyone around them and make them all yes man, because they believe they deserve to be listened to, which is a positive trait if they are in control of themselves and maintaining themselves and holding high standards for themselves and their company. But the problem is when someone doesn't hold high standards, they'll take anything off the street. They'll take anything from anyone. They'll do whatever it takes in a way that means they can hurt themselves through objectifying things and people, and they don't allow free will. They don't allow people to be free thinkers and have their own ways and thoughts. Mind manipulators become physical manipulators, and in rare cases they are spiritual manipulators as well. And they go into the deep parts of a person and they connect to them, and then they flip switches that should not be switched. This is called breaking one's spirit, breaking one's will, in order to have them on their side. Now, majority of the time, men will just sleep with women to break them, and it's a very easy way to do it, because when your root is connected to someone, they will have power and authority over you in some way. Now, it goes both ways, feminine and masculine, but most feminines don't have enough power to stand up to the overbearing, dominating masculine. So there's this aspect of a lot of people being used in a lot of different ways, and now this can also be done through media. It can be used through music, movies. There can be sounds put behind the sound that you're listening to, the images that you're looking at, to break you down and put you in their hands and in their grasp. This is why it is so important that you are careful with what you listen to and careful with what you're watching, because you don't know necessarily if what you're watching is clean. Are you actually looking at a picture of champagne, or are you looking at a picture of champagne that has been coded to be a backdoor method? Your eyes can give you great experiences in life, but they can also, when you are in liking of something, in love with something, or you accept something, you create a back door. So this is why a lot of times artists will use brands or things that other people like, because it lowers the guard. This is the exact same thing that memes do. Memes lower your guard and implement a backdoor program. So then the user can enter into your spiritual system through this backdoor program and control and manipulate you. And you will feel like you just can't get up. You just can't say no. You just can't blank, whatever the case may be. Now, this goes for very mega corporations that do these things as well. Most times they use it so that you buy the products. It's not just sexual images or innuendos that they use for you, but it is your desire for them. So this is why if you have not mastered yourself and you are weak to temptations, then those things will be like backdoors into your computer called human. And when someone gets into your human and into your brain, then they can get into your spirit and they can take what they want. Now, these backdoor programs can also be installed through what people call magic and other types of things that are very, very real. Now, like any program and like any virus, it can be overcome. You just have to desire and commit to overcoming these things. And this is something that is very, very much an element of what the Father God programming has done to females. It has spiritually closed off females from their own source of their own power by using mental programs. Now, this is a lot more complicated and it's a lot more intense than if you were to watch a commercial of, a specific image and you like that image and it's a backdoor program for you to choose that brand over the brand that you are currently have in your hand or you have been currently buying. And it goes the same with getting likes, follows, buys on albums, popularity. There are many programs to manipulate people to like things that are absolutely grotesque for people to find a value and a liking into becoming something different than they truly are. So, when I say that it is extremely important that you desire other people that give you free will choices and then understand everything has a cost, to view things has a cost, to hear things has a cost, to be around people has a cost. The reason I tell you this in full transparency is because I want you to understand the difference between myself and other people who proclaim themselves as leaders and other people who proclaim themselves as spiritual, inciting type of persons. There's a lot of similarities because they're very good actors, but the key elements is self-responsibility, free will, and then continually checking in and asking, you're sure this is what you want, and really and feeling confident that what you're doing feels good to you deep within your soul, not like, because I want. No, nothing. If it doesn't feel good with the inside of your soul and it feels slightly compromising, or it feels really exciting, or it feels, a little bit daring, or it feels like, we're going on some crazy adventure that's never grounded, those people are not having your best interest in mind. Because in all of my teachings and in all of the work that I do, I understand that mental health and spiritual health are aligned deeply. And I want you to also understand it connects to your physical well-being and your physical health. And when I say hold a high standard, I mean hold that standard and do not let any other person, not even something that you have heard, take you away from that. Hold your boundaries. Stand firm in who you are. Your voice is powerful. Your spirit is powerful. Your mind is powerful. Be very intentional on how and who you use this on. Self-responsibility. I will tell you day and night for eternity and then some. Self-responsibility. What you think, what you know, and what you are and how you show up should all be the same. And if you have little bumps along the road, then you have bumps along the road. Nobody is perfect, But you must get rid of the bumps on the road to find back into perfection, get back into the purest form of living. So when others say go down this road of daringness, I say hold deep within yourself. How long can you sit with yourself without needing something else? How much can you hold yourself back when someone's pushing your buttons? How much can you sit there and say, I want the best for myself, and not walk back to that person who has continually belittled you, dismantled you, and disrespected you? How can you stand up to them in a way that keeps you safe and in peace? How do you deeply honor yourself? This is also very different. Honor that inner voice. Honor the things that make you feel awkward. Honor the things that make you feel weird. Now, when is it time to step out of your comfort zone? When you know it's the next step, not when someone draws you out to make that next step, not when it's so daring that you know in your logical brain that it will be dangerous to your human and dangerous to your mind. That is not when stepping out of your comfort zone is stepping out of your comfort zone. That's walking out of alignment. You have to see and know the truth within inside of yourself, and know that mental manipulation is huge. Spiritual manipulation is disgustingly powerful, and many people use it for the ill will of humanity. There is an element of all things that requires choice. And you, even if you feel trapped where you are, you have a choice to make one step to try and get out of that. You have a choice to get closer to your inner light, because the inside is what is the most light, even though when your eyes are closed it is dark. That is the lightness. It is mostly dark when you open your eyes, because you are attracted to things that you think you know what they are, in images that you thought you understood. It was just a champagne glass, but really it drew you in to be close to someone that you didn't want to be close to. You have to truly understand what is going on in the universe, and the only way to do that is to seek yourself, master yourself, understand that nothing outside of you tells you what to do, but it is always suggestive. And there are many paths that you can choose. You can choose the old reality system, which has many masters and many gods. And at the helm of this is the Father God. And he gave these people all of these things. I do not. I have a different reality. If you decide to choose it with your own will and walk down these paths, it might not be any easier to you. In fact, it might be more difficult. I don't know your personal story, but what I do know is then when you step in my world, you must stay committed. It is a higher cost to be in my reality, because you cannot slide. You cannot fall into temptation. It's not acceptable. If you want to be weak and you want to be full of pleasure all the time, then stay where you are. Seek within inside of yourself what is the next step to finding the best existence for your soul, so that you can find the best existence for your human. Because where your soul is hanging out right now is why your images show up in front of you the way they do. Whether you have 15 bank accounts in 6 different countries, or you wonder where the next thing is coming from. Your soul's placement, your soul where it is and what it believes is why you're in the circumstance that you're in. The more you have, the more you must take responsibility for. So yes, if you want to be rich, you will have a lot of things. However, you can learn to deal with all of these things, but you must do it one at a time. One thought pattern at a time. One habit at a time. You cannot keep your house clean because your grandmother told you that it must be clean, otherwise that's shameful. That will not work. You must keep your house clean because you need to know that looking down at the floor, it gives you pleasure to see cleanliness. And when it's not clean, it should bother you, not go to a voice inside of your head of someone dictating you. If you allow others to dictate you, you will never be free. You will never understand life. And you will continually be under the God-Father blueprint, which is the big dictator that comes and tells you and does this and that and the other thing. But you need less responsibility. You need not to take care of certain things. You can be accepted no matter who you are. In my world, there is no acceptance unless you have done the work. Unless you have cement, I will not say that you are a stone maker. You cannot make some type of sculpture without a form of structure, something that is sound structurally. If you come to me with clay, then you must come to me with clay and a kiln and power to make that kiln into a solid structure. Don't come to me with clay and say, I'm a stone worker. Don't come to me with a handful of stones and say you're a stone worker. You just lifted it up. You don't understand how to mold it, create it, and cure it properly. If you want to just take and resell, stay in the Father God blueprint. I am not here for that. I am here for you to understand how to mold yourself, how to understand and know how your brain works in its entirety, and you taking responsibility for each and every word you speak. Each and every thought you think becomes your reality. So no, you don't need to be upset with yourself when you think something that is not good. You need to understand why you think it, where that came from. This takes so much more work than sitting down and going to a service and saying, I am saved. That is for the lazy people. If you want to be true and honorable to yourself, then you take responsibility for every thought, every word, every action, and every energy that you connect yourself to. This is extremely important, and it will take a lot of internal fight for you to understand how to do this. But if you are committed, it will change your entire existence. It will change your path, and it will change your pattern, and it will change on who you connect and who you allow in your life if you stand firm and are committed. If you're not committed, you will take 2 steps and fall back 10. Simple. Because as soon as any person sees you make a few steps, oh wow, they've got drive. Now you're a target. Understand and know, as soon as you decide to be present with inside of yourself, you become a target. Now you need to protect that by continually going down that. This is why you have to understand what mental manipulation is, because if you're like majority of the population, or even a smaller percentage of the population, you are doing it. We all do it to an extent, and until you take full responsibility for yourself and allow people to choose their own path, and you be very, very transparent with what is in front of them if they come towards you, then you yourself are also manipulating people. If you just leave it, they can figure it out themselves. No. You must be very transparent and upfront at all times. No second guessing, nothing left unsaid. If you say it's red, then it's red, not burgundy. Don't say it's red and then show up as burgundy and go, oh, well, burgundy's kind of known as red. No, that's manipulation. Be straightforward, be clear, concise. You can say it's red and it comes in 3 different forms of red. If you show up like this, it's burgundy. If you show up like this, it's rosy red. If you show up like this, it's a little bit more pink. You have to be transparent with yourself and with people. And the most people that are least transparent and the most reflective, they always want you to say it and you to make the choices, and they say very little. Those people are usually highly manipulative. Mind manipulation, spiritual manipulation, and emotional manipulation are at the greatest high right now because media has so many back doors into majority of you. And especially if you are on sites that are sexually exploitation. That is the easiest way for someone to come in and control your entire human. And you don't even know who they are. And they're sitting somewhere else in some mansion somewhere, literally controlling you like a puppet. So if you think the PORN sites are making money off of what currency you give them, that is the hugest lie in the world. It is about manipulating your human being and your thought process. You probably have very explicit dreams and you're unable to keep a relationship in the real world. It's because those sites use certain types of spiritual manipulation to use your body and use your mind and keep you very far from any positive and wonderful connection. So the first thing you will have to do is heal that in order for you to start to reclaim your own presence, reclaim your own mind, and reclaim your own energy and your body. So master yourself, understand who you are, and then you will start to understand the world that is around you.